Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Basic Education Board.
Hello, Senior 6 students. You are all most welcome in the Senior 6 Entrepreneurship for today. Dear students, today we are talking about Unit 3, which says the customs and procedures. That is the unity that we are dealing about. Now, dear students, today we are talking about lesson 4, which says the types of customs declaration that may be exported and imported in Rwanda. As you remember, we tried to talk about the types of declaration or the types of custom declaration that can happen in Rwanda. We have said so. Now, dear students, we have also the running objective. Of course, as well as we are studying, we should work with an ambitional target. Now, I expect from you, dear students, as the lesson says, try to be able to explain the major types of goods imported in Rwanda. Okay. Of course, we have different types of goods that can be imported. They are entered. They are coming in our country. Okay. Try to be able to list them and to explain them as well as you can. Okay. Now, dear friends of mine, before we continue with our discussion that we are going to share in common, I mean me and you, dear students, now I want you to achieve this. In case the teacher asks you to brainstorm or to think on any scenario that can happen, please don't ignore. Try to think so as you come up with certain constructive ideas or constructive views. Okay, you brainstorm and you see whether what you have thought about is the same as with what the teacher tells you or what the teacher wants you to share with you. Okay, meaning all your ideas, all your views, all your thoughts are most welcome in this presentation, and you shall see what we will get at the end after discussing. We will measure ourselves if we can be able to explain all those types of goods that can be imported in our country, Rwanda, concerning the customs declaration. Okay. Now, dear students, we have what we call the import customs declaration. The import customs declaration. Okay, these are the import or the import custom declaration. Dear students, if you remember, last time in our previous lesson, we tried to list and explain a bit the types of custom the types of custom declaration. We have studied this and we have seen that the custom declaration, it can be either export, it can be either import, it can be either temporary declaration, and so on. It can also be the transit goods that are in a transit way. We have listed different types of custom declaration. And if you remember, we also tried to talk about the export or the exportation as the type of custom declaration. We have seen that the goods are taken from within the country and they get out to the country. That is the export. You remember also we have taken an example of our country, Rwanda, where we have seen that we have some goods which are exported outside our country, We have seen that we have an example of tea, they are exported outside. We have coffee, they are exported. We have those of castorite, as we get them from mining, they are exported out. We have an example of colta, they are also exported outside the country. Okay, those are the export goods which are exported from our country going abroad. Okay, now today, as we talked much about the export or exportation, we have also another type of custom declaration which is called the import custom declaration. Okay, now dear students, what do you understand? What do you think can be the import declaration? As we remember, as we talked about the export declaration or export custom declaration, where the goods are taken outside the country, of course, it is contrary and it is the opposite of the import custom declaration, because when we talk of import, it should be goods entering in the country. That's why we say that this import custom declaration is a government document declaring designated goods or services produced to be moved or sold into the country from other country. Okay, now let us try to define it. It should be a government, the import custom declaration is a government document. It is owned by the government document declaring. Declaring comes from declaration. Declaring. What does it declare? It declares designated. It declares the designated goods or services. Designated goods or services. These services or goods, they can be produced to be moved or sold into the country from one country to the other country. Okay, these goods or services, they are produced, where it is either in one country. They are produced to be moved. It means when they are manufacturing them, when they are producing them, when they are making them, they made them to be moved. Of course, they have to be sold outside the country. They have to be moved or sold. They have to be moved from one country to another, or they can be sold from one country to another. Okay, into the country. They can be sold into the country from other country. From other country. This is very simple. But let us say countries because they can be sold in more than one country. What does this mean? This import custom declaration, it should be a government document declaring designated goods or services produced to be moved or sold into the country from other countries. Okay. The goods or services are manufactured in any country. That goods, of course, they should first be sold within the country, and at the end, they are imported, okay, from also other country. The country which received those goods, they are receiving imported goods, okay. or positively, the country which is sending or which is selling those goods, they are exporting goods. The country which receive, they do what? They receive the imported goods. The country which send goods, they are exporting goods. Okay. Now, when this document is well prepared, it facilitates trade in a certain country. It also facilitates RRA as Rwanda Revenue Authority, Customs Service Department adopted some special regime. Okay. It means that once this document is well prepared, showing the procedures and different ways in which goods can be received in the country, those are the imported goods. Rwanda Revenue Authority and trade in general should be facilitated. Okay. Now, dear students, we have another point which says the importers procedures. Okay. We have the importers procedures. These are the procedures of importing what? Of importing goods or services to any country. In order to facilitate trade, Rwanda Revenue Authority Customs Service Department has adopted some regimes. Okay. Those regimes we should have what we call direct delivery. We have direct delivery, which is one of the procedure or the regime that Rwanda Revenue has established and adopted. We should have what we call the direct delivery. We shall see in detail what this stands or what this means. Okay. We have also the clearance on track. Okay. This is the clearance on what? On track. The clearance on tracks. Okay. It is also another procedure that has taken into place. We have also another procedure or another regime which says quick release regime. Okay. We should have the quick release regime. The quick release regime off-roads and the reload of goods. Okay. We should have the quick release of off-roads and the road of goods. Simply, those are the procedures in which the importers or the importation procedures mainly which take place in Rwanda. We should have the direct delivery, the clearance on track, quick release regime of off-roads and reload of goods. If you see here on this, the clearance on track, of course, there is no need of removing goods or service. There is no need of removing goods outside the truck. Okay. They are checked within the truck and they are cleared within the truck. This also can be the direct delivery and where the quick release regime off-roads and the reload of roads of goods. Okay. That is, when you talk of road, of course, you understand the package. Okay. Now, this quick release, it can be shortened as QR, which means quick release. Okay. Now, we have the types of quick release. Okay. The quick release or QR, it should have, from this quick release, you can have two types, namely, okay, we shall have what we call the we can have what we call the perishable goods on a quick release. And you can also have, when we talk of perishable goods, we shall have what we call the factory machinery or machinery. The factory machinery. This spare, it should be spare. When we talk of the spare parts, let us stop by here. Okay, we have the perishable goods and the factory machinery, spare parts, or the other factory material that may stop the functioning of the factory in case of shortage. Okay, we have also, when we talk of this QR, we can have other types, which is like the goods with doubtable origin in case investigation are being conducted on the certificate of origin. Okay, for example, when we talk of in this quick release, let us take an example of maybe goods from the person who possesses goods is saying that the goods are from maybe Netherlands, okay? And they have fake logos which have attached on those goods showing that they are directly from Netherlands. But there is a doubt. The custom agents, they are doubting whether these goods are from Netherlands or they are from other country, because they can lie in case of reducing the taxes that can be charged on that road. Okay. Now, when there is a doubting or there is a doubt of the origin or the certificate of goods where they come from, it is also classified in a QR or the quick release. Okay. The fragile goods that can be damaged when off-roaded, example, the grasses. Those are the goods that can be damaged or broken. Of course, they are classified in quick release. We don't need to remove them out, because these ways of removing them out and also packing them, it is not good, because some of them, they can be damaged or destroyed. They are also classified in a quick release goods or services. Okay. The goods that are not off-roaded in Kigali due to contract between the importer and the transporter. Those goods are example for Marti, for Bralirwa, off-roaded at Gisenyi. They are not off-roaded in Kigali because the contract between the importer who import these goods and the transporter who are able to transport them, they are now off-roaded. Okay, and the origin is at Gisenyi when they are manufactured by Bralirwa. Okay, now we have what we call the quick release without a deposit. That was A, now B. We have the quick release. We have quick release without deposit. When we talk of a quick release, or which can also be happening without a deposition. Okay, this is where, when we talk of this quick release without deposit, this is where goods are granted. Okay, the quick release regime without payment of deposit. Okay, here goods. The goods are, when we talk of the quick release without the deposit, the goods are granted. They are taken for granted, okay? And now, the agent or the quick ER special regime, there is no payment of the deposit, okay? The goods are deposit and without, are granted and without a deposit, I mean without, okay? They are deposit and they are granted and without payment, without payment of deposit. Where they have been deposited, you don't pay for it, okay? That is the quick release without a deposit. Now, example of these goods whereby their deposition is not paid, we have the example of goods exempted from payment of duties and taxes. We have the goods exempted. These are the goods exempted from payment. Of duties, from payment of duties and taxes. Okay, that is the example of goods or the quick release without a deposit. Okay, when they are of paying duties and taxes, they are classified in quick release without a deposit. We can also have another type of this good which is called the goods that belong to the government of Rwanda. That is goods that belong to the government, they belong to the government of Rwanda. They are all classified in what? In a quick release without deposit. If they belong to the government of Rwanda, they don't pay the deposit fee. Okay, or the deposit payment is not charged. We have also another example of these goods which are in quick release without deposit. We have what we call the bank coins. The bank coins and notes. Okay. These bank coins and notes, they are also classified in quick release without deposits. Okay. There should be also the clearance of goods on track where they are cleared in the truck without removing them. Now, we have also what we call, after getting the import customer declaration, we shall have the temporary importation. The temporary importation. This is the import goods into another country or territory or for a limited period of time. Are we together? Such goods are generally not subject to tariffs or similar fees, though they must leave the country within a certain period of time. Now, when we talk of temporary importation, it means that goods may be used in the country without payment of duty or VAT. That is the temporary importation. The goods, okay? The goods may be used, Goods may be used in the country. They may be used in the country. They may be used in the country without payment. Without payment of duty. Without payment of duty or what? Or VAT. Okay. There is no payment of duty or VAT. That is the temporary importations. Now, under certain conditions and re-exported afterwards in the same as they were in import. Okay. Now, when we talk of the temporary importation, we can also see what we call the conditions that may be applied. Like temporary importation regime granted to international organization governed by a specific convention ratified by the Republic of Rwanda. Okay. Now, the required documents, you have to face there on the slide. We have the required documents that should be filled in the temporary importation, like the arrival notice where applicable, bill of lading, airway bill, original invoice, the packing list of imported goods, okay, and a letter of guarantee to cover the duty and the tax on the goods get signed by the organization and the line ministry. Okay. Now, dear students, before we conclude, you have the major imports goods for Rwanda, like the oil product, which is petroleum, the foodstuffs, rice, cosmetics and skin, lotions, electronic equipment, computer, telephones, cooking tools, military weapons, clothing and second-hand clothes, new fashion styles from Europe and Asia. Okay. Now, there is also an exercise or homework. Dear students, you have to discuss the custom importation in Rwanda. When I ask you to discuss the custom importation in Rwanda, you have also to know the example of goods that are imported in the country, the types of custom importation in Rwanda, those of quick release, and the clearance of in the track. Okay. Now, thank you very much. The exercise was question 1, which is to discuss the importation in Rwanda. So, I wish you all the best and congratulations for having been with me. Hope we shall meet next time. So, you were kind today and keep on that habit of being kind. See you. Goodbye.